Life should create and celebrate all of your greatest moments. Let us turn your joy into memories that will last forever. As we remember our beloved Eddie Blick Jr., the very reason we do it all, we aim to put a smile on your face and also your heart. Whether a birthday party, wedding planning, organizing an event, or photography, we can service all your needs. You can follow us on Instagram at Eddie B Productions, email us at eddieb_productions93@outlook.com, or call us at 410-303-0101 for all your event planning, decoration, fun, and photography needs. We look forward to working with you.
Listen, hello. I am LaQuita Parks, and I am your host, and this is another episode of The Power of Your Story. And listen, I am so excited because Chanel got me all hyped up over here because we were having a great conversation, and I looked up and was like, y'all, it's time for us to go live. So it has been an amazing conversation. Girl, I want to say I love you.
I love you too.
Girl, let me
you look
tell
amazing.
Oh my goodness, you are the one, not me, but you. But listen, you know what? I am LaQuita Parks. So I am the CEO and founder of T.R.I.V.I.A Publishing. And T.R.I.V.I.A means pain, progress, victory. Let me stress that. Pain, progress, victory, because I believe without pain there is no progress, and without progress there can be no victory. So I absolutely love helping people take their stories from a thought to a realization. And you know what, for some reason when I can't do that, it bothers me, because I believe that 100% of everybody living and dead has a story. That's my story. I love it. So today we have none other than the amazing, the fabulous, the magnificent, the beautiful, the hey gorgeous Chanel Wesley. Wait, how many best-selling authors are you? What,
I'm working on building.
Okay, all right. And playwright, and motivational speaker. And listen, and the founder of BWA, Black Women Authors, and
I love Black Women Authors.
Wait, an actress. And girl, did I forget anything?
No, you got it. I'm telling you, I'm just happy to be in your company. I'm telling you, and I can't wait for you to do our upcoming anthology. So I can't wait to see what that entails.
Girl, I am so. First of all, let me say publicly, because you know this is broadcast to like 1 million people, right? So let me tell you publicly, I so love what you do, and I know that it is not easy. I know that you have a lot going on, but I love your vision for BWA. And I love the fact that you had this vision and you started bringing women together, and women who are like-minded. You know, I got to say, I love our little community, and it's growing. And I got to honestly tell you, I want to see it grow, but I want to see it grow in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes things can get so big and get out of hand, and you start to lose what the foundational principles were. And I like the fact that you're the glue that holds this together. So because ain't nobody gonna
do about that part.
Girl, I'm telling you, ain't nobody gonna do what you do. And so I love it. You have such vision, and you know what? I love that. So I am telling you publicly, if I've not said it in private, I appreciate you. I love what you do. I am so grateful to be a part of BWA. I know I'm slow to do some of the things that I need to do, but girl, life ain't easy, child.
No, it's not.
But honey, I do what I can when I can, and I catch up on the rest of it when I can. Enough about that. I want you to tell us who you are, where you're from. And listen, we had the opportunity of interviewing for my podcast, My Heart on Pages.
Yes.
When she said she was from Milwaukee, I said, they got Black folks in Milwaukee. She was like, girl, yes. So, and listen, and since that time, I was like, it's a lot of Black people in
It
Milwaukee.
is.
We everywhere, y'all. So that's beautiful. So, Miss Chanel, come on, tell us about you, girl.
Well, I mean, I'm just thankful. First of all, LaQuita, you already know how I feel about you. I just want to say again to you, thank you. You are a phenomenal woman and you are doing so many amazing things. There are not so many, you can meet people in the world and they can be disingenuous or they can be unpleasant or hard to deal with. You are a constant professional. You are a woman of God. You have so much purpose and integrity. You're doing so many amazing things and you connect so many people. You're always looking to better someone else or help someone else along the journey. So again, we are just welcome just to have you at Black Women Authors, and it's been an amazing ride, and I can't wait to see where God is going to take us in the future, because He truly is the glue that's keeping us together. That's what brought us all together, was our love for God and for being able to be women of God and to be able to be authors in various genres. We have, children books authors, some Christian fiction. We have motivational, inspirational, devotionals, anthologies. There are so many different components that make up the authors who comprise this amazing group. And it's just a pleasure and a privilege to serve, but just to be surrounded by so many amazing people. And you are one of those people. So I'm just thankful to God that He brought us all together through books.
Oh, thank you so much. To God be the glory. You know what? Before you get started, I have to, it's funny because there are people who will do things and people who will do things to you and you want to react. Mm-hmm. And I remember a long time ago, when I got taught the gospel, I was taught the gospel, the best person in the world to teach the gospel. I was just blessed, straight no chaser, and made me rightly divide the word. And one of the things that I learned from that and that I try to carry every day is that I have a responsibility to treat people the way that God wants me to treat them, no matter how they treat me. And sometimes people will say, oh, if I was you, I wouldn't. Or if I was you, I get that all the time. And it doesn't even feel right to do something other than to treat people other than how God has said for me to treat them. And sometimes it's not easy. So I appreciate that. My goal every day is to listen, Lord, let my light shine. And some days I have to be repentant and say, okay, I didn't let it shine that time.
You ain't said nothing but
Lord, I'm sorry. I didn't let it shine. I teach Bible study on Tuesdays, and I'm like, we have a responsibility. That's my thing. We have a responsibility. So I'm always prayerful, and I'm not as every day I need to be laying prostrate, but I am always thinking, and I did that today. I went to the pool and I got in the water because the water makes me feel better. I got in the water, and as I was in that pool, I was saying, and it's almost like I was shouting in my head as I was going back and forth in the water, and I was saying, Lord, don't just let me walk the walk. Let me walk the talk. I talk a good game, but Lord, let me see where in my life that I need to walk the talk. I need to talk it. I need to walk it. And I don't need to hold a flag up saying, hey, here I am. I'm a Christian. It needs to be seen in the way that I treat people. So I appreciate you for saying that. And listen, and if I'm ever out of line, I got a whole lot of coattail pullers. You're like, okay, that's not like you. What's going on here? So I appreciate that. But enough about me, girl, because we can talk about me all day long.
But I
want to talk about you. So let me ask you a question. Tell us where you're from. Tell us your name and tell us where you're from, girl. Tell us about you. Let us know all your business.
Well, I'm Chanel Coleman Wesley. I reside here in the beautiful state of Wisconsin. Milwaukee is where I hail from. I am the mother of 6 amazing children: Taquan, Tatiana, Tanaya, Takari, Tavarius, Taraja. Yes, all T's, Tavarius. So that's 6 of them. I have 2 amazing grandchildren, Ava and Julie, and they are just adorable. They're my.
You don't even look like you got grandkids.
Yeah, I got 2. They're amazing. Yeah, and so the family is my net, they're my why, what keeps me motivated, what keeps me driven. of course, God is the center of everything, and He's who gives me life, and He allows me to have my being. And He's very patient with me. So I'm thankful for that too. The things that I do, like I said, I'm here to try to provide service, especially to Black female Christian authors who write in those various genres that we spoke of before, because it's really important to me to provide a platform. Many writers don't have a lot of resources or skills that just coming into this game or trying to learn the game. They might not have all of the resources that other people may have. And so I'm all about networking and cross promoting, because I believe that teamwork truly can make the dream work. If we work together and pull resources, ideas, 5 heads is better than 1, 10 heads is better than 120, and so on and so forth. And I think it's just a beautiful, because a lot of times, we hear myths like, Black women can't work together, or Black women are so catty, or Black women can't do these things together. But we are truly dispelling this myth because we are genuinely working for one another. The reason why anthologies work is because it's one book and there's many authors behind one book. But instead of utilizing an anthology, we utilize each author's book in their platform to try to all get behind that one author, that book, that business, and try to help push it. And we're just a newly formed organization, but we're growing and we're taking strides. And each time we wield our power of networking and cross promoting, you just never know when God is going to allow it just to pop and just to blow. But right now, I'm enjoying the ride. Not only have I had an amazing collection of books, among which I got one right here, Walking Limitations by
I
Miss
know her.
LaQuita
I know
Parks.
her.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
know
in
her.
this book right here, Life of a
Yes.
Firefly by
Yes.
Senator Brown Winston, and so many other books that I'm just gaining in my personal library. But even more than that, I've gained so many meaningful relationships, things that I wasn't even expecting God to give to me. The people that I'm connected with, these are just an amazing group of women. So I'm just truly blessed. Everywhere I can look at it, it's just a blessing. So again,
You
it's an
know what?
amazing opportunity to
And
serve.
I have to say, because of you, it's all your fault. I have purchased more books, and I'm a publisher, and I have plenty of books and
I
plenty of
bet.
reading. I have purchased more books since I've been connected with BWA than I've purchased in years. And I used to say I'm a reader. I'm definitely a reader. I would do, and it's funny because now there's the book slam. And so I'm like, okay, what I got to get that book. So I'm talking to somebody. I'm like, wait, I got to get that book. And so one of the things now, for when I do I have a lot of platforms, and I love to invite people to be a part of those platforms. Whatever I'm doing, I like to invite people to be a part of it, because it's exposure. It's different exposure. I don't care if it's 2 people, 5 people, 1,000 people.
You
It's
never know
different
how that's
people
gonna
hearing
go.
it. Exactly. So I am always doing something. So for my Heart on Pages, I started requiring or recommending that the suggesting rather that the author who's going to be interviewed, that they provide me with a copy of their book.
Yes.
And I think that's more than fair, because you get your author's copy and you share that, and then
Right.
you're getting exposure, you're getting the graphics and all that. But that doing that too has caused my library to increase, and I just feel so blessed, because I can, like, I have a bookshelf. I have a bookshelf to my left. I have a bookshelf to my right. I have a bookcase in my bedroom, 2 bookcases in my bedroom. I have I have a book right in front of me. I have books, 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 books in my
Wow.
living room, books. And so now, where the bookcase to my right, it has those self-help type books. So
Mm.
looking, the how to, and how to eat an elephant in one bite, and the Who Moved My Cheese, those type books. But to
Okay.
my left and in front of me, I have books that are, Dr. Shonda Lewis,
Mm.
Destiny, and I have I Pray on Purpose because,
Yes.
and Life of a Firefly.
Yes.
And I have all those books, but here's the wonderful thing. And tomorrow I'll interview this beautiful lady, the Cant
Nice.
Show One Wants, Dr. Velma Bagby. She will be a guest tomorrow on the podcast. But here's the thing. I can pick up the book now and say, I know Chanel Wesley.
That's right.
I've read her story. I have her book. I
And
know.
the Chanel Wesley off the book too.
Exactly. And that's I can say I know of Oprah because I've seen her on TV, but I don't know her. I haven't had a chance to talk to her. I don't have that connection that I can go back and learn something from that connection. So it's because of you, because of your vision to say, okay, you know what, let's support each other. Let's get each other's books. Let's do reviews. I love that. I love that. I absolutely love that. So we're going to talk about your book in a minute, but I want to talk about this play that you just did. And I'm mad because I wanted to see it. Did you guys do it virtual?
So we tried. We had a situation with the streaming. There was a problem with the internet.
Okay.
So we did catch like the last tail ending of it. You can see the tail ending of it on CC's Inc. on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
First of all, I was just surrounded by an amazing cast of people. Selena Gregory, Tyler Brown, Sakara Gregory, Tatiana Lee, Kenyatta Hayes, Nia Collins, Nina Scott, Chantel Riley, Tamika Porter, Jada Lowe, Nicole Smith. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Taraja Wesley. I think that's everybody. Yeah, that's everybody.
What was the name of the play? Tell us the name of the play.
The name of the play was The Beautiful Truth About an Ugly Lie. And I came up with that name because sometimes representations of lies can just seem so beautiful, so enchanting. And sometimes it's hard for us to recognize the truth, and we can think that the truth can be ugly and hideous. So I went back and forth between thinking, should it be the ugly truth about a beautiful lie? Should be the beautiful lie, but it's the ugly truth. And I was going back and forth with it, but I just said, it's going to be the beautiful truth about an ugly lie, because in the end, that's really what it was. And the whole synopsis for the play was the story about the Warren family. And I mean, they were a bunch of 6 beautiful Black sisters who had a very loving matriarch who was Miss Kathy Geraldine Warren, and she was a no nonsense type of mama. She didn't play that. And she had girls who were, just striving to continue with the family business. But there was this secret that was looming in the family closet, and it was threatening to come out. It comes out. They're introduced to a therapist who is Dr. Watkins, who tries to help the family be able to stay together despite the odds that they're facing. And so it was an amazing ride. When I tell you, I was just so happy for just the cast. They're just, like I said, amazing, just phenomenal actors and actresses. Just really showed up and showed out. The audiences, both times that we did it, connected well with it. So we were very pleased with everything. But I have something new coming up for Christmas, and it's going to be called A Ghetto Christmas Story.
Oh, wait a minute. Now let me go back to something. When I heard the name of that, it reminded me about the story of Joseph. And
Okay.
I learned a long time. There is this saying that I say sometimes: don't be fooled by your feelings, or your feelings that have you feeling like a fool. Because they lied to his brothers. You know the story of Joseph.
Yes.
His brothers lied, and they told the dad that he was dead. So the dad believed the lie. For years, he believed the lie. And sometimes
but I still had to come out, though. You see how that they held on to that lie for all them years.
Exactly.
That
And so
lie
that's what I thought about. It had to come out. It had to come out because the promise had to be come to fruition.
Yes.
And when I heard that, now I was like, oh wow. That's what it reminded me of, because that was an ugly lie.
Yes,
But then here is a beautiful truth.
Yes.
You know, I thought, and you know, and it's funny because the brothers kept on lying. Our daddy said, "Don't you kill us, don't hurt us." His
Yeah.
dad ain't said nothing, you know. So I like that title. I can't you know, maybe one day it'll be on video and I can.
We're
They
working.
still
I'm
do
hoping
video?
we're
Do they
gonna
still do
see.
video?
Which actually we're trying, like, it's been a long process. We started in 2019.
Mhm,
We put a pause in it. Then we, all experienced some different things.
mhm, mhm.
Then 2020 happened with COVID and everything. So it was we changed various characters. We had people who came on to the project, people who weren't able to stay. So
Mhm.
it was an opportunity to meet so many amazing people, share with them, and they helped to take it. I guess help in the evolutionary process of the
Mhm.
play, because I can say this is one play that I was constantly writing on and rewriting,
I was just going to say,
adding.
let's not miss that, y'all. She wrote this play because you just kind of slid right over that. You didn't even say that you wrote the play. So you made it seem like you were just an actress in this play, but she wrote the play, y'all. Okay, so don't slide over that. Tell us what that tell us that process. How did you end up writing a play? And is there a book by the same name? I'm just curious to know.
You know what? I'm planning on doing a series on
Okay.
it, fiction, just because I was so engrafted with the family and their dynamics and everything, and it just kind of was
Mhm.
evolving. So the process to me is, I'm just a creative person. Again, I see stories in everything. Everything has a story, and so I thought about a concept or something, a principle that I wanted to teach or to educate people about. And then I just grafted that underlying tone, the undertone, and I just kind of layered it with drama, because drama makes things colorful. And I brought in a family because we all can relate to family and the various issues.
That's so good.
Secrets are things that people, we know about secrets because, I don't care who you are, you've kept some type of secret in life. So things that were relatable. But then I made them have a crisis, because unfortunately we all can understand and relate to crises as well. So um, it's like I said, it was just a evolutionary process, because it started out one way. I guess the undertone stayed, but then I actually, we had one person who came in. And it originally was only going to be 5 sisters, but her name is Eve Lopez. She came in. She had did so well, that I liked her, and I was like, well, um, I'm gonna write in an additional character to pull her in. So then I created another sister, but because she wasn't um, there in some of those scenes initially, we just had her be the absentee sister, because there's always a family member who don't
Right.
really feel like being bothered with the family like that.
Yeah,
And but
right.
then towards the second half, she came in more, but I gave her like kind of like solo monologue scenes for her to kind of play out. So like I said, it was very cool. Nina, actually Nubian Star was going to play her for a minute, but then she wasn't able to continue. Then at the 10th hour, God brought in Nina Scott. She just picked it up and kind of went away with it, and then just brought Miss Felicia home and gave just a dynamic performance. And so I think it took all of those pieces to get to where we ended up at. So like I said, I love to write. I love to create. I'm in the process right now of doing something for Christmas. It's going to be called A Ghetto Christmas Story.
I know that's gonna be funny. I love
Yes.
that. I love that. Okay, so you're playwright and you're an author, and I have the pleasure of having your book, and we talked about that on My Heart on Pages. Now,
Yes.
see, we're not gonna give all the details of this book because we want you guys to go and buy the book. And she's gonna tell you how to go buy the book in a minute. But we want you to I want you to tell us some little snippets about, give us some background on the book. And listen, Chanel read she was featured on the book slam.
It was nice.
and
I loved
and
it.
when I tell you, you can feel the energy. There was no you the and for those of you who are not familiar with the club, with the book slam and all that, it's Clubhouse. It's a
Yeah.
social media app. It is audio only. The only faces you see are the faces that are in your profile. And so you go in and out these rooms. And so there's a room on there on Tuesdays, every Tuesday. I host a room once a month, and it's called the Book Slam. And Indy Brennan is he's the originator of it, and that's his platform. But I invited Black women authors. I did a special show, Black women authors, and they killed it.
Yes, they
They
did.
killed it. And when just the way that you read, you the word, what's the word I'm looking for, um you commanded the attention, you commanded everybody's attention. I could not see any faces, but I could feel the energy in the room. And it's amazing when you can feel the energy in the room, because the tone was already set.
Yes, it
With
was.
Tanisha, when she read that, when she came out reading, she
Yes.
set the tone, and it just went there. And then Dr. Alvina Ryan closed us up.
Yes, she did.
But
Yes,
in
she.
the midst of that, there's always got to be a center. Miss Chanel, you killed it. Your reading, it was amazing. So tell us a little bit about what inspired you, or tell us the name of the book, and what inspired you to write this book.
Naked and Not Ashamed, the transformational devotional experience. I went to Oakwood University Church down in Huntsville, Alabama. We were traveling. My sister and one of my good girlfriends, Nicole Thurman, we went down there to take the kids for college days, and we had an amazing time. Pastor Carlton Bird, he did the sermon was just on point. And I can't remember which woman in the word he was talking about, but he was just, talking about her story. And I just like, man, like I really relate with this woman. I don't care if it happened, so many years ago. I could just feel it. And he was just telling the story, like just into the story. And I was like, you know what, y'all, I'm gonna write a women's devotional. I don't know if my sister and Nicole took me seriously, but I meant that. Like, so on the way home, I started writing, and I actually started writing with the story about the sexual abuse that I
Mhm,
experienced, the one that I actually read at the
mhm,
clubhouse.
mhm,
Because I said, well, if I'm gonna tell a story about myself, because I'm gonna be one of these characters, where would I start? What would I tell?
yeah.
And I was like, I guess I got to start at the beginning, because
Mhm,
that's my earliest memory from my childhood, is that, like, just clear memory. That's my first memory. And so I started there. Life happened. I stopped. Uh, and then, God, allowed some things to occur, and he was with me during those things. But then I just had a quiet period. And so during that quiet period, I went on ahead and started back, the process of writing. Even though I had lost it, it was
mhm,
like I didn't, because I just picked right back up from where I,
mhm,
the
mhm, mhm.
subject matter, and just went from there. So it's like a three-way mirror, because women, we all have a story.
Yeah.
It allows us to see the story of the woman in the Word of God, and we can recognize that although her storyline may have happened years ago, there are some central themes that still run and exist in our stories today. I tell stories about my own life. People can see my good, they can see my bad, and they can see my ugly, and it's all, and
Right.
it's all there. But people, more than that, readers have their own story. So I allow the reader to process her story through journal prompts, through activities, things that she could do to kind of work out and relate to her story, because she has a story as well. So it's like a three-way mirror. And so when I thought about getting naked and not ashamed, I like being able to have things where I can sit down and actually do work on things. So
Mhm,
that's why it's kind of built up like that, for people who kind of get it like me, like, okay, I can look at this and I can look at that. But then
mhm.
what do I say? How does that fit in? So it's a three-way mirror. It's naked
I
and
like
not ashamed.
I like it. I like it. I like the fact that you were naked and unashamed. I like the fact of how you use scripture to correlate your devotions, or the sections. And of course, with when we're talking about naked and unashamed, you cannot tell that story without talking about Adam and Eve. and
Yes.
and I love the breakdown, because it's, who told you were naked,
Mm,
you know but so here it is. In the biblical terms, they did something they were not supposed to do.
right.
They ate from the forbidden tree. And God was specific. You can have this and this and this and this and this and this and this, but you can't have that. And it's like that in the world.
Yeah.
We have all these things that we can have, but we want what we can't have.
Mm.
And I relate to that because it's all about self-control. And
Yeah.
when we know, when we just follow the guidelines, then it's for our good.
Yeah.
If you can't have it, it's like, LaQuita, you're not supposed to have, you're not supposed to have salt. And I don't add salt to my food, but the fact that I'm not supposed to have salt, everything is like, this
It
tastes
needs the salt.
plain. This needs a little seasoning to it. So having to rethink readjust my mind and my thinking is like, okay, you can't have this because it's not good for you. And God was like, you can't have that. It's
Mm.
not good for you. It's not going to be good for you. So I like the fact that I like how you broke it down and how you broke down your different chapters. And I love that you started with yourself, because a lot of times you read books and people are they're so-called self-help books. And you have people who are, who receive their doctorates, and they're, like way here, and they're talking and they're trying to teach you how to do something, and you don't feel the connection. But when
Mhm.
you are helping somebody and you start with your personal story, whatever parts of your personal story, because this show is called The Power of Your Story.
Yes.
Whenever you do that, you make the connection, and you're more open with your audience, then people receive it more. And so I appreciate the book. So listen, tell them how they can go get that book, girl.
They can get the book one or two ways. They can go on Amazon. It's on there. They can get it right there. Simple and easy. Just look at me up on Amazon, Chanel Coleman, at Naked and Not Ashamed. And there's a lot of Naked and Not Ashamed. I thought I was doing something that was just revolutionary, and then
There
I
there
found
can
out
only
there
be
truly
one.
isn't anything new under the sun. When
Exactly.
Solomon said that, he wasn't joking. And I
Exactly.
thought, wait a minute, it's a lot of Naked and Not
But
Ashamed.
there can only be one.
Well, you know what? There's only one, Naked and Not Ashamed, the transformational
There you go.
devotional experience. So that little Bible right there got me. And so, like I said, I'm just excited about where God is taking me, what He's doing. They can also get it at my website, www.ccsinc.com. That's CECISINK.com. But I'm excited about a new thing that God is doing. It's
Yes.
entitled "She Said Yes to Herself."
Whoa. Okay. All right. Is that out yet?
It's going to be out in November. Actually, November. I'm really
Woohoo!
excited about it.
New book alert. New book alert.
I'm trying, LaQuita. I'm trying. I said everybody doing their books. I gotta try to hurry up and get this going. But I'm excited
Yeah.
because I want to do something that's going to provide motivation, encouragement, and empowerment for
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
That's truly the vein in which I'm in, because I myself am a woman. Nothing against the males. God has some amazing things for them too. But my primary focus is building up women, because so many times we see ourselves through a faulty lens. And as women, we are it's ingrained within us to say yes to relationships or to marriage, to our family life. It's in us to say yes to our careers or to
Mhm.
helping and serving others. But when it comes to ourselves, we'll say no.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's not for me. I can't have that.
Yeah.
And so she said yes to herself is telling the woman, yes, you can. Yes, you can. So I give like 21 tips on how to love yourself
Yes. Love that.
unapologetically. Well, I
You know,
just
that's
love
that's my
excited.
thing. Loving yourself from the inside out. I love it. That's my thing. So, how can they connect with you, so that they can see your book? That they would be. You're on social media, right? What are your social
I
media they can
am.
follow you on?
Facebook, they can find me at Chanel Coleman Wesley, author, speaker, playwright. They can also find me at CC's Inc. CECISINK. They can find me on YouTube under CC's Inc. They can find me Instagram, CC's Inc. They can find me on Twitter, Chanel Coleman Wesley, I think, on Twitter. Oh yeah,
Awesome.
I'm not tweeting as much. I gotta develop my Twitter hand.
I know, girl.
Really
Listen, it's
tweeting.
so funny. I used to get so many alerts. I was like, "What is this?" all and I started reading some, and it kind of gets real interesting, and you can kind of lose yourself in it, because some of those little tweaks, it's like, wait a minute, what? And then it's just small enough to make you go in and have to go through and research the story, kind of like, when you're doing Instagram or TikTok. I'm not really good at TikTok. I haven't done that yet. Okay, so we talked about the Chanel the playwright, and we talked about Chanel the author, um, best-selling author. And so now we're going to talk about BWA. Okay. So for those of you who have just joined us, and for those of you who will be listening to the replay, and for those of you who are catching us live right now, I am LaQuita Parks, and we are talking to the fabulous, the gorgeous, the beautiful, phenomenal Miss Chanel Wesley. And we are talking about naked and not ashamed. Okay. Naked, and I think I said naked and not afraid. Either way,
It's
either
all of
way.
that. It's
It's
all
all
of
that.
that.
It's all that.
It's a better nation than
I was
not
talking
enough.
to somebody. I was talking to somebody, and they were saying they were in this room, and somebody put in the chat, who naked in here, and it was like, what? So it's like, that's not appropriate. And so in further communication, what he wasn't, and it was a male, and it was mostly women in this group. Well, you have to be very careful, but this is what he meant. He wasn't being sexually facetious. He
Okay.
was saying who's open, who's open to, and in order for you to be open, you have to just bring your all. You have to be naked.
Yes.
And so when you're looking, I do this, and I'm glad you said loving, teaching the tips you have about loving yourself. I used to do this thing, and I have it in my book of affirmations. Loving yourself. This is my book of affirmations. And I would stand in the mirror, and I would say, I love myself.
Mm.
And I would teach children in my class, in my mentoring program, I love myself. And I would just tell them to say, I love myself. And they would say, oh, Miss LaQuita. And I would say, I love myself. And I know that this works, Chanel, because I started doing it. You know how when you're upset and you count to 10, you're getting angry, and somebody says to count to 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing, except for when somebody has said that I'm not good enough,
Mm.
I tell myself I love myself.
I
When
love.
somebody has said that you can't do something, I tell myself that I love myself. When somebody is telling me that my prices are too high, when my prices are very inexpensive, I tell myself I love myself. When I feel broken and beaten and torn down by the world, and I've just had enough for the day, that's when you got to really pick up this mirror. This is my mirror, my
Yes.
mirror, and just look at it and just say, I love myself. I love myself. I love
Yes.
myself. And you may start out with the flimsy, half hearted, I love myself. But by the time you get through the process, I guarantee if you do it for 30 days, do it every day for 30 days. By the time you start, you may start with the, I love myself. By the time you finish, you're going to be like, I love myself. I love
I
myself.
like that. I'm actually going to
It
borrow
works.
that tip
Yes.
in my next one, because I'm doing a series on saying yes to yourself. But I'm gonna say this, LaQuita, you have to set your prices in life, not just with your books or your property, but just with you
Absolutely.
yourself. Because if you don't set your prices, somebody else will set prices of you for you. You know what I'm saying? They're going to
Yes.
determine your worth, and if they determine your worth, they're always going to take it down a notch. They're not going to bring it up or elevate it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. I'm gonna take it
Exactly.
down, say, well, can't you compromise? I
Yes.
actually talk about a component about this in the book. And I can't remember if it's this series or this particular book or if it's the next book, but about setting your own price for you. If you
Yes.
lower your price, there are things that fly off the shelves, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes an item might be there and then the item will just remain on the shelf. And so the store owner might become a little bit frantic, so may decide to drop the cost.
Right.
What changed in the value of the product? Nothing. It was just the fact that it wasn't moving as fastly as
As they
the
wanted. Right.
owner wanted it to move. But then there are objects where everybody can't even bid on them. there's exclusive items. You have to be of a certain degree or pedigree to be able to get into the room to have access to it, right? And
Access
then only one person can walk away with the prize. Yes. Right. So we set our own price and our own worth. And if we allow people to say, just take that, no, that means you're not meant.
Exactly. It means that it's not that my price is not my price. Is that you're not my customer or you can't afford it. And you know what? Here's the thing also, and I love that you said that. People want you to compromise on the price, but they don't want you to compromise on the quality.
There you go.
You got the same quality.
Do all those amazing things that you do.
Exactly. I got the same quality. I'm going to bring the same professionalism. I'm going to bring the same energy, but you want me to cut the price. So if I cut the price, I got to cut the energy. If I cut the price, I got to cut the professionalism.
But and nobody wants to talk about that part.
Exactly. We don't want to talk about that part. We don't want to talk about that. That's why I love what you do, because you have so many, you have created a group, and here's the thing. I love that when you created the group, you have the questions, because a lot of times that you go into these groups and they have these questions that you have to answer, and sometimes whether you answer the question or not, they let you right on in the group. I love the fact that you created these questions, because it's important, because you need to know who's in your community.
Yes.
And there are people who are going to come into your community, and they're not going to be like-minded. They're going to come in and pretend, and the pretenders only last for a little while, because the pretenders are coming in to see what's going to benefit them. Right. And I get that. I get, you know what, well, how is this going to work for me? And sometimes when you do that, you look for what you're going to get instead of how can I give?
Yes.
And I like that you've created a community that says, you know what, we're looking for like-minded people. Because if I say I'm spiritually motivated, then you need to see that. I need to represent that. So if I'm not answering those questions, and of course those questions are not the be all and the end all, but it's a starter. It's a starting place. And it also lets people know that as they're coming into this group, this is what we're about.
Right.
And I love that.
The expectation. Right. And so I think that that's important, because, you know, the company that you keep is going to ultimately influence you for your good or for your peril. And, you know, if a eagle, you know, hangs around pigeons, then that eagle is only going to fly so high. Right. It's going to set its bar by what it sees everyone else doing. The eagle has, you know, those majestic, that wingspan and perception to be able to do all of these various things. But if it hangs with pigeons, it's only going to fly at a pigeon.
As high as a pigeon.
Right? So if that eagle wants to elevate, it can't be around pigeons. It has to be in the company of other eagles, so it can understand, hey, I'm supposed to fly higher than the heights of these pigeons. I was made, God designed me to be above this. And so if we lower ourselves, if we lower our prices, if we lower these things and allow people to set our prices, then we'll be an eagle, but we'll be flying at pigeon heights.
We're eagles operating in pigeon standards. I love that. You know, one of the things in my book, it says you can't stop a bird from flying over your head, but you can stop him from building a nest in your hair. So if this is as far as I'm going to go, when I do my mentoring program, Chanel, I teach the young people, look at your circle, show me the 5 people in your circle, and I'll show you your life. If you have, because here we have a circle, and everybody in the circle has a responsibility. Everybody in the circle has a job, and everybody in my circle, I know who's in my circle. So if something's going on, you can't stress the circle. So if something's going on in my circle, if I need something, I need to know in my circle, who can I go to now? And it might not be a financial need, but if there's a financial need, I know I can go to this person. And I know that this person would want to, but this person is not financially able to help me in my financial situation. But here I know in my circle, I have that person that's going to say, okay, you know what, LaQuita, now let's think logically. Let's look at this logically. And then there's the next person. So every person in the circle has a responsibility. But if the circle is all doing the same thing and operating at the same rate and operating at the same pace, then the circle is stressed and the circle goes nowhere.
You
It
better
just
say that.
stays there. It goes nowhere. So if you're in my circle and I'm in your circle, then I need to be building you up and you need to be building me up. Now, here's the thing, everybody in the circle doesn't have to be on the same level, but everybody in the circle needs to be growing.
Yes.
So in the circle, I can't say, well, you know what? Well, Michelle over there, she ain't gonna do nothing. So I'm gonna leave
Mhm.
Michelle. No, if Michelle is a part of the circle, then our responsibility as the circle is to go to Michelle and say, girl, you got to step it up and we're gonna help you. Then if Michelle is not interested in stepping up, Michelle is in the wrong circle, and it's
Yeah.
the circle's responsibility to move.
Yes.
And so I love that in this Black women authors, you're creating a sisterhood where the same women are coming in, and listen, if you're listening to me and you're in the Black women authors and you have not decided to participate and you're just lurking. Somebody said that this morning on in my Power of Your Story room on Clubhouse. The guy came up and he said, I came up because I've been in the room. I like the room. I've been in the room a couple of times and I didn't want to just be lurking. And I said, well, you're not lurking. Anybody come in, you can come in, go out. It just says to us that there are people who are interested. So if you're in the Black women authors and somebody just said, don't talk about me. This person knows she'd be busy. If you're a part of the Black women authors and you're there and you're just lurking and you're not participating and you're just looking to see what's in it for me, you're missing the point. You're
Yes.
missing it. And it's a lot. I know you sent a book to us the other day, and
I
sometimes it's hard.
did.
And listen, I'm guilty. I'm not gonna lie. I'm slow getting some stuff in sometimes, but it is always worth it. And even if you're tired, come to the meetings, see what's going on.
Yeah.
How can you benefit? And listen, you get the exposure that you need. You get the exposure. Have you seen those beautiful videos and graphics? This woman puts these things together. So don't sleep on that. So what was your vision? And we have, but time goes by so fast. We have a few more minutes, but what was your tell me what your vision is for the future of Black women authors, and what your vision is for, and then tell us about some things that's coming up, some upcoming
Okay.
stuff.
Well, first of all, I want to say that we all built this group together. I just was the big mouth. That's all. And so the things that I am seeing again, it's the relationships. I think that's the pivotal thing because everybody's an author and everybody can be working their own independent platform and just working their books. But it takes, I mean, it's better when you're running with a pack. And you should have people at various levels in the pack. You do want some people a few steps ahead because they can show you the way, because success always leaves clues.
Mhm.
You should have somebody that motivates you and pushes you and inspires you and encourages you. One amazing component that I love about this group is that we're a praying group. And so this group will pray for you and cover you. And I think that that's amazing. So the ideology of this the group came from the fact that I watched a YouTube channel, and the YouTube is Alexander Torres, and she was talking about how she started with five Caucasian women, and they kind of formed together to make a network, and they started running and doing their pact and kind of finding people who had similar things. And so they after that they formed this group and they were all able to elevate. And so I wanted something that represented me and the people who were doing similar things to what I was doing. So I reached out on Black Authors Network and said, hey, what do you guys think about, is there a group that's like this? And I was like, I'll join. I'm like, well, I wasn't thinking about starting a group. I just wanted to join the group. I wanted to see if there was one that exists like that. And so we were just
I
able to kind
remember
of
that.
find a community, build one, start incorporating the things that were important. The things we wanted were reviews, we wanted sales, we wanted community, we wanted the opportunities to network and kind of cross promote. And so it just kind of took its own life from there. So now we have BWA virtual meetings that we do on Thursdays. We also do BWA virtual book tours where we highlight the author of the month. And we all get an opportunity to talk about our books, but we always throw it back to our author of the month because we want to push her and see her reach her goals. The author of the month to give us a goal, and we try to work towards helping her achieve those goals in her business with her book. We also do book clubs where we get an opportunity to discuss a book. We just put out LaQuita's interview for her book. This book right here,
Beautiful.
Walking Limitations by Other People's Definitions. So if you haven't had an opportunity to check that out, you will understand once you watch that video why it is a must-read book. We are also now expanding to do a BWA Reader's Vibe. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
That's coming up.
I can't wait. So in September, September 15th at 7:15 CS times, and 8:15 Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be putting our first Black women authors readers vibe out into the atmosphere. So people will have an opportunity to actually see these authors, hear an excerpt from their book, and be able to follow an amazing community and get these authors' books, follow them across their various social platforms. So we're exceptionally excited about that. We're working on Black Women Authors Summits. Next year, 2023, we're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia.
Woo-hoo.
Yes, where Miss
Come to visit me, y'all.
That's right, where she hails. We're going there. That's going to be our first place that we're going to visit next year. And we also are getting ready to work on an anthology, and LaQuita has agreed to be our publisher.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we are extremely excited about that. So those are just some of the things that we are doing in the BWA community. Again, it's an amazing network of phenomenal Black women. I couldn't ask for a better team to build and to grow with. And so, yes, if you are a reader or you love books, a little bit of everything, then I want you to have the opportunity to meet some of these amazing authors. Again, we have a YouTube page, so check us out on YouTube, Black Women Authors. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram. That's new. And we're about to get on Twitter. So make sure you guys follow us again to connect with some of these amazing authors, shop their books and their businesses. Again, these are some phenomenal women. And we're just excited on where God's going to take us next because we're growing.
Oh my goodness, I love that. That's a lot. I'm a part of that, y'all.
That's right.
I'm excited because I'm very, very particular with who I connect with. So
we're thankful for the connect.
I love that. So we have about 7 minutes. And so for the next 5 minutes, I want you to talk about the author of the month. I think you have her book there, right?
I do. So
talk about this fun book.
First of all, this book right here is Life of a Firefly by Sandra Brown Linston. Okay. Now, when she read this, okay, I wish y'all could have been on. You know what? You guys can go back to Clubhouse, get on the Book Slam with the Black women authors, and go back and listen to her read an excerpt from this book. First of all, the girl is in Sweden, okay?
Yes.
She was reading this book at 3:30 in the morning.
Exactly. Sure was. That's dedication. That's dedication right there.
3:30 in the morning. And I mean, when I tell you colorful reading, it was riveting. Everybody was just spellbound as she was reading the book. I'm like, I gotta get this book.
Yes.
As I'm hearing her read it. I mean, the characters, the different sound. I mean, she did a Southern accent, and to tell you, this woman is phenomenal. Let me just read a quick little this point real quick. I mean, when I tell you, I love this book. It's good for children, but it's also good for adults too.
Yes, and I have the book too, by the way. I purchased the book way before it came out. Well, we were on a call one day, and it was like several. I was like, okay, I'm buying this book. I'm buying this book. I'm buying this.
And that's one thing LaQuita does. Every time we're doing something, she is always purchasing somebody's book during the meeting. Like, I'm gonna get that book, and I'm gonna get that book.
I bought Takia's book last week. I'm like, okay, let me get this book.
I'm telling you, my book library is growing. Thank you, BWA, because I'm getting some amazing books. And just so many amazing connections. Like I said, everyone in this tribe is just amazing, doing some phenomenal things.
And
So
don't say you can't afford books. You can. You can. If you eat out, don't get a 99-cent meal instead of a $2 meal.
I'm telling you right
Eat
now,
out, eat at home one day and purchase some books. Put some money aside and buy some books.
you won't regret it. This one is called Miss Becky and Silent Sister. It says, "Hey, sister girl, now what you gonna say? Don't sit there head down like you finna pray. Sister girl, you hear me? I said, what's wrong with you? Black cat got your tongue and his white devil too. Baby girl, open your mouth and use them pretty words. I'll give you a chiffon pie with sweet lemon curd. All right, that's it. I gets my switch. God knows I ain't trying to raise no little witch. I'm telling you. I'm gonna tell you right now. I can't read this book like Sandra reads this book. I'm telling you, she had this thing going. Like I was like, well, what's gonna happen next?
Yes.
What happened?
Yes.
I mean, just the accents is just killing it. I mean, presence, the whole thing. This really could be a book series. I don't know if anybody's
It
watching
could be a
this out
movie
there
too.
in the book world that can make some things like that come to fruition. But they definitely can. Again, Sandra is a phenomenal author. This book has won multi-awards, numerous awards. Not only that, Sandra wants this book to be in every classroom across the United States. Representation is a powerful thing. Many of us can remember going back to when we were in school and the literature that we run. And I mean, it was some amazing books, like reading the Titanic. And I enjoyed some other, things like, Hamlet and, everything else. You're reading all these various books, but I did not have a book that had a character like this.
Yes.
That had some amazing.
That was
learning
written
about
by
God.
by a woman of color. That was written by one because there were the Judy Blooms. I used to love the Judy Bloom books, but this is written. This is a fantastic book. Fantastic. Listen, it has. I mean, our time is just about up. It has been.
I'm gonna say one thing: if you're an educator and you live in the States, get this book. Talk to your principal. Go on Amazon, purchase this book. Put this book inside of your child's classroom. Again, they are going to. This is a phenomenal read. Your children are going to greatly benefit. If you're an adult, you can still read this book. This book is for everyone.
Good, and it's
I would like to say it's just for kids, but it's for everyone.
It is. And I know some educators, so I need to get with Sandra because I used to work in education. So I might be able to kind of help get the word out.
See what I mean about this community? You see what I mean? This woman is always stepping up and showing out. Yes.
It has been a pleasure, Chanel. Thank you so much for being here. This has been so exciting. It is. I love the story. So listen, if you have a story, and I know that you do, 100% of everybody living and dead has a story. No matter where you are in your story writing journey, I can help you take that story from a thought to a realization. If you just started, you don't know how to get started, I can help you. If you have started and you find yourself stuck, I can help you get unstuck. And if you've written your story and you need some feedback, we'll read your story. We'll offer you written feedback. And then when it's ready to be published, we can do that too. So this has been an absolute pleasure. I have enjoyed this conversation. This is the power of your story, and we are here every Thursday. And look, next week I have an amazing show planned. It is going to be the men of the book slam. So
nice.
We will have Indy Brennan will be our guest, along with Sir Lawrence and William and JT. And we are also going to have Samuel Raines, Mr. Darkman Blues himself. So I will have the men of the book slam on next Thursday. So you don't want to miss that. They are going to bring it. I am super, super excited.
I gotta tune in for this.
Yes. So listen, if you need to reach me at payprovipublishing.com. That's PAPROVI publishing.com. Every single body has a story. Share your story because there is power in your story. And if you don't believe that, don't hoard your story. Share it. Try me out. Share your story. You know, I absolutely love this. I love people. And Chanel, I love what you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on letting God lead you. And listen, if you're listening to me, and are you catching the replay? Know that you are important. Your story is important. There's power in your story. And guess what? It has been a plump, pleasing pleasure. Better than a triple decker peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So until next time, be blessed, be good, share your story. Sharing your story doesn't give away your power, it empowers you. So until next time, bye bye.